Hey guys, welcome back. I've been on a bit of a hiatus with the holidays and or training, so welcome back, and it's good to be back. So today the topic at hand is something that's kind of recently been released. Finally, we're going to talk about rechargeable batteries. Surefire, the makers of your standard issue 123A batteries, have always had non-rechargeable batteries. Well, now they have new lithium iron phosphate rechargeable batteries, which are characterized by the white label. Previously, I was pretty against rechargeable batteries. Their quality and performance just wasn't up to par, and I've seen some issues. There's very inconsistent voltages and some QC issues previously with other brand rechargeable batteries. So previously I didn't recommend them. However, I do trust Surefire batteries. They are the gold standard, so I wanted to give these things a shot. And I've been using them now for about 2 months. Used them at the Night Ops Summit recently at Greenline Tactical, and I've been using them for other stuff, just doing training stuff on the range with Warrior Poet Society in some of my accoutrements and accessories, and then also just going out and practicing on my own. Now, here's what you need to know about these batteries, and then I'll talk about some other stuff, and then finally, are they a solution for you? So, first things first, they are a lithium iron phosphate as opposed to a lithium ion battery like the old non-rechargeable ones. You're probably like, well, what do they cost? Good question. Your standard non-rechargeables are about $2.08 per battery. Your rechargeables are $8 a piece, so they're pricey. They're about 4 times more expensive as your non-rechargeable ones. However, you can get dozens and dozens of recharges on them. So if you look at it from a long-term cost point perspective, they're well worth the price. They sell them in 2-packs. I haven't seen them sold in bulk packs or anything yet. So you're going to buy a 2-pack, $16 plus shipping is what you're going to be charged for the rechargeable batteries. And you're like, well, what's the milliamp rating? How many milliamps do they store on these things? Your standard non-rechargeable has about 1,550 milliamps. The rechargeables have 450 milliamps. So this is about 3 times-ish more than this. And you're going to see decreased battery life because of it. Your voltage is standard 3 volts and then up to 3.2 volts for that. Once the voltage drops about below 2.5 volts, that's when they shit the bed and stop working. But these get about a third the runtime as your standard non-rechargeable. The question is are they worth it? Well, if you were an occasional user, and you're only using these things like once a month, i.e. your nods and your laser, you might want to just buy like a 24-pack or a couple of 24-packs of non-rechargeable batteries, and that's probably going to cover you for a year or maybe many years. Now, if you're a large consumer of batteries, like you run a night vision training company, you're an avid hunter, you have multiple devices, nods, thermals, lasers, optics, your handheld flashlight, your flashlight in your handgun, whatever. I think they're a really good alternative. You're after a couple of recharges, about 3 or 4, they paid for themselves, and they will continue to pay for themselves on down the line. So I estimated that at Greenline, I'm going through about $1,000 worth of batteries a year, just doing that. So an initial investment of about $250 to $300. After 4 recharges, they've paid for themselves in that year, and they will continue to save more and more money as time goes on. And right now, transferring electrons out of a wall outlet is pennies on the dollar compared to buying these things. And I'm always looking to cut costs, my costs at Greenline, so that we don't have to raise prices. And that's important for the consumer. So if I can cut costs in one area to save guys in other areas, I think it's well worth it. So if you are a avid user, you've got a lot of night vision, you use it a lot, you've got a lot of accessories and accoutrements and accompanying devices, thermals that chew through batteries, freaking use them. If you've got a battery pack on your helmet that's got dual bank batteries, they're awesome because you can just flip over to the other ones. And I previously wasn't necessarily a big fan of battery packs on helmets. Now with these rechargeables, I think it's viable because one, you can recharge them, and two, you have kind of that redundancy when it comes to having extra batteries on board, and you can just flip the switch and you don't go down. I get about 8 hours of use, which is 8 or 9 hours of use, which is basically one full night on the range in my DTMVSs. And I can get about an hour of runtime, continuous runtime on my E-Cody with one of these things, which is, you know, pretty good because you're not necessarily going to run it all the time. Battery changeout on an E-Cody is super, super simple. So it's, you know, the fact that it has decreased battery life is almost a non-issue to me. Practicing your battery changeouts in the dark is a good skill to have. So assuming you're proficient with that stuff, you know, unscrew the thing, look up, battery falls out, put new battery in, screw it back on. You can do a battery swap out in about 10, 15 seconds if you know what you're doing on an E-Cody. And it's just a little bit slower on that. But again, I'm gonna get a full night's worth. The other thing I've done is I've rigged up battery chargers. I have one in my truck. I carry one in each helmet bag. I carry one in the box for the Greenline Tactical to recharge batteries in hotel rooms. It takes about an hour, maybe hour and a half to put a full charge on this thing. So they're relatively quick. I just pop them in when I go to sleep, change them out if I get up to pee in the middle of the night, and before you know it, I've got the whole class's batteries charged in both the lasers and the nods. So I like them. They work. I haven't had any, you know, other than battery life, any degradation in performance. I haven't had any, like, you know, really, really bad things happen as far as batteries swelling or leaking or any type of weird QC manufacturer's defects going. As far as rechargeable batteries go, these are the ones to get, and I think they're a pretty good investment. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that saves you some money. Saving money is always a cool thing because you can buy ammo and training and all kinds of gear with the money you saved. So go ahead, pick up some of these things. I recommend buying probably, if you're a single individual, I'd buy half a dozen of them or more. But if you come to a training event, you'll probably see these going into some of the devices and accoutrements at a Greenline class or a Warp Oil class if I'm on the range. So yeah, check them out. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for being a patron. See you next time.